Welcome back to the Accessible Art History YouTube channel. Today's video is inspired by my current class in my master's program. I'm enrolled in ancient art history and I love visiting some of my favorite topics. This week we're learning about the Old Kingdom and the pyramids, and I've loved ancient Egypt since I was a little girl, but it's great to get some new information on how the Egyptian pyramids were conceived and built. It was quite a process and I can't wait to explore it with you. So to learn more, keep on watching. Before we dive into the story of the pyramids, I think it's important to understand why the Egyptian pharaohs wanted to build them in the first place. The shape is incredibly important to the ancient Egyptian religion. According to its creation myth, the Ben was a triangular-shaped mound that arose from the primordial waters of creation, also called Nu. From this mound, the creator god Amun arose and settled. He would go on to create two deities, Shu and Tefnut, who would produce the pantheon of ancient Egyptian gods. In essence, the Ben represents the beginning of creation. Besides being represented by the pyramid itself, the capstone at the top of the structure was also called the Ben stone. There are several that still survive today, giving us insight into their importance. Alright, now that we have that background information established, let's dive into one of the pharaohs that started it all, Sneferu. It's important to note that he didn't build the first pyramid. That honor belongs to Djoser and his famous architect Imhotep. But Sneferu was credited with working out how to build the freestanding structure we're familiar with today. Pharaoh Sneferu reigned from approximately 2613 to 2589 BCE and was the founding ruler of Egypt's 4th dynasty, a period often referred to as the Golden Age of the Old Kingdom. He ascended to the throne following the death of his predecessor, his father or maybe stepfather, Pharaoh Hunai. Beyond his architectural endeavors, which we'll discuss in a moment, Sneferu was also known for his military campaigns, particularly in Nubia and Libya, which helped secure Egypt's borders and expand its influence. His reign is characterized by relative peace and prosperity, facilitating advancements and projects that defined his legacy. Sneferu was also a master at PR for the Egyptian throne. He welcomed people from all social stations to talk with him, something that was quite rare at the time. In fact, we have records of him referring to farmers as my friends or my brothers. This endeared him to the common folk and allowed him to raise the money needed for his military campaigns and building projects. Sneferu was succeeded by his son Khufu, who would go on to build the Great Pyramid of Giza. Sneferu's reign set a high standard for his successors and left an indelible mark on ancient Egyptian history through his pyramids and military campaigns. As I mentioned a moment ago, Sneferu was consumed by the idea of creating the perfect pyramid. However, it took a couple of tries to figure out how to create such a large structure without it collapsing. His first pyramid, the Medium Pyramid, was initially a step pyramid that was modified into a true pyramid and experienced a lot of structural issues and it partially collapsed. It's notable for its transitional design between the step pyramid and a true pyramid. It was originally constructed as a step pyramid with 7 tiers, and an 8th tier was added later. Its height was about 91 meters, and when it was filled in to look like a true pyramid by filling in the steps with packing stones and adding its outer casing, its final height was about 93 meters. However, this was not entirely successful. Over time, the outer casing and some of the core materials collapsed, which left the structure in its current state, which you can see on the screen. Today, it looks more like a 3-step tower rising from rubble. Not exactly what Sneferu was going for, probably due to structural weakness and the poor quality of materials. But this Median Pyramid remains an important site for the understanding of the evolution of how Sneferu and his architects wanted to build a pyramid. Archaeological digs at the site have also uncovered the remains of a mortuary temple and a causeway, suggesting that it was going to be a large complex just like we see at the later pyramids of Giza. Undeterred by this failure, Sneferu commissioned the construction of a new pyramid, the Bet Pyramid at Dashur, located about 40 kilometers south of Cairo. Its distinctive feature is its unusual shape. It kind of looks like it's bulging at the waist. The pyramid rises up at an angle of 54 degrees, but then halfway up the pyramid, the angle changes to 43 degrees, which is how it got its name. The steep original angle may have led to structural instability, prompting the builders to alter it to prevent the pyramid from collapsing. Evidence supporting this includes the presence of large cracks, indicating the stress on the stones and the failure of the design. The Bet Pyramid also has some of its original polished limestone casing, something we don't really see in the more famous Giza pyramids. This gives us insight on how the pyramids would have originally appeared, gleaming bright and white in the sunlight, which must have been pretty spectacular. Finally, Sneferu completed the Red Pyramid, also located in Dashur. This is considered the first successful attempt at constructing a true smooth-sided pyramid, and it served as inspiration for the later Great Pyramids of Giza built by his successor. Its name comes from the reddish hue of the limestone that was used in its construction. One of the most important features of the Red Pyramid is its consistent 43-degree angle, which provides it with a more stable structure. The angle is believed to be chosen based on the lessons learned from the structural issues encountered with the other pyramids we discussed in this video. Its gently sloping sides allow the stones to push against each other and using gravity to hold them in place. It's simple and efficient. There's an entrance on the north face of the pyramid, located about 28 meters above ground level, which leads to a descending passageway that opens into 3 chambers. The first 2 chambers are corbel vaulted, aligned with the pyramid's central axis. The third chamber, which served as the burial chamber, is larger and features corbelled ceilings. This distributes the weights of the stone blocks above and prevents collapse. The construction of the Red Pyramid marked a significant achievement in ancient Egyptian engineering and architecture. Its success established the design principles that would become famous with the later Great Pyramids of Giza. As you can see from the progression of the pyramids, it took decades of dedication and hard work to realize the dream of Sneferu. However, it is a shame that he doesn't get the same recognition as the successors for their pyramids.